Hey guys, welcome to the Field of 68 YouTube channel. If you like what you see here, hit that subscribe button and you'll get more college basketball content just like this. The best hire of the last decade, that's what we're doing. It's obvious. And I think that everyone is going to, at least two of you are going to have the same answer, and it's Kelvin Sampson at Houston. He's a guy, it was a little bit of a risk. He's coming off of, what was it, a 5-year show cause from Indiana. He was out of college basketball for 6 years. He was 58 years old when he was hired, and he's turned Houston into the Texas version of Gonzaga, I guess. I don't know. They're always a top 5 team. It doesn't matter who they lose. It doesn't matter who they bring in. They just keep that thing rolling. And now they are leaving the American and heading into the Big 12. And I got to think a part of that is because of the fact that Kelvin Sampson has turned that into one of the best basketball programs in the country. I don't know how you can really make an argument for anybody else, but I'm willing to hear people try to pitch me.
No, it has to be. I mean, look, there's two numbers. I mean, before Houston hired Kelvin Sampson, they had been to one tournament in the 22 years before he was hired. They had been to this second weekend. It had been 30 years since they'd been to the Sweet 16. They've now been there 4 straight NCAA tournaments. Like Dauster said, they're like a perennial top 5 team, regardless of talent, regardless of who they have. And it's remarkable. I mean, they are now just a perennial powerhouse, and they were just in the doldrums of maybe the most talent-rich state in the country just a decade ago. It's a remarkable turnaround.
Parrish?
My answer that I submitted was Kelvin Sampson. I think it's obvious for all of the obvious reasons. If I had to go with somebody else, Bruce Pearl.
Yes.
I mean, you take something in a power conference that is a total afterthought, had done nothing but lose for the most part at a significant level for years and years and years. And he comes in and turns it into, a legitimate national power. He's been to a Final Four. He's had, lottery picks. I was at Auburn last season, not this past season before, for the Auburn-Kentucky game. That place has got one of the best environments for basketball games right now, as good as anywhere in the country. So Kelvin Sampson would be my number one, but I think Bruce Pearl is, if you're looking for an alternative answer, is a perfectly reasonable.
Well, here's the deal. Kelvin Sampson is the overwhelming choice. He's the only choice for this. However, my backup answer is the only coach hired in the past 10 years to win a national championship, and that's Dan Hurley. No one else hired in the past 10 years has won a national title. Fair. Dan Hurley has now done that. He has, in my estimation, in guiding UConn to a national championship, brought them obviously back to the forefront of the national conversation and made them as relevant as they could ever ask to be in this new era, but also validated UConn's blue blood status without question, and getting to that 5th national championship with a 3rd different coach over a dozen-year run. That's something that we've basically never seen before. And though he had not won a tournament game before this year, the nature in which UConn did it and steamrolled in historic fashion, I think Sampson's the answer. But for me, because I considered Pearl for this, Hurley won the whole damn thing, though. So he would be my number 2 pick behind Sampson.
Hey, Norlander, do you think that UConn would have won the national title if Alex Dukas didn't get injured in the second round of the tournament?
Put his back locked up, man.
Listen, first of all, I was there next to Goodman, and I think Goodman put him into retirement when that happened, and it did look like it looked bad, man. Did
Goodman know who did Goodman know who he was?
I think
I don't think that Goodman knew who he was before he got hurt. Goodman claims that he does.
Anyway, all right.
I think he was aware.
So the same year, and I'm going with Kelvin. Kelvin, clear number 1. I went with Bruce at number 2, but I'll give you another name just because, again, adding in here, the same year that Danny Hurley was hired by UConn, and that was a lock pick, right? Like that was a no-brainer of all no-brainers, and it's worked out. Dusty May was hired by FAU.
Our partner for today's episode is Athletic Greens. I started taking AG1 during the college basketball season, and I loved the impact that it had on my energy levels. I'm a big coffee in the morning guy, but by the time that the afternoon would hit, I needed another boost. AG1 helped me tremendously, especially on those days when I didn't want to get up off the couch and go hit the gym. Their tagline is AG1 is comprehensive health and the power of habit in one. And man, that could not be more true. It's nearly impossible to eat and drink in a healthy manner in the month of February and the month of March when you are in my business. And AG1 was exactly the supplement that I needed to improve my gut health and cover my nutritional basis for the day. I've continued that into April. I've continued that into May, and I'm going to continue that the rest of the summer. All I have to do is mix a scoop of AG1 with some water, or maybe add it into a smoothie, and I'm ready to go. Do it after lunch, and you'll be ready to go for the rest of the day. If a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, then Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Go to athleticgreens.com/field68. That's field 68 FIELD, the number 6, the number 8, and you can get yours now. So check it out and help support this show. Thanks.
And that's one hell of a hire, boys. Because again, I mean, listen, at that level, you don't know what you're getting. You're getting Mike White's assistant at that point. You don't know what he's going to do. And again, one of the worst jobs in its league. That's the difference from some of these other mid-majors that have done it. VCU, George Mason, FAU. I was just down there. Their facilities stink. They're going to get an upgrade. They're going to get a better media room. That was terrible. Everything's bad there. Everything's bad. So Dusty's going to get some more money and more money for the program. But I thought that's one that is, again, one of the better hires, certainly when you look at it now with what they were able to do. All right.
I had a list of 6 guys for this one.
Yeah, let's see. I have 2 more, but let's
go deeper. Let's go deeper.
So here's the list of 6 that I had: Kelvin Sampson, Bruce Pearl, Dan Hurley. I also had Mick Cronin.
Good one.
Obviously, greatest coach in UCLA history.
Nate Oates.
Yep. Nate Oates was going to be my number, I guess 3, but yeah.
And Eric Musselman.
Yep. Those 2 were the same year. They were in 19, both of them. And I had them on the list too.
Who's the better? Listen, on Thursday, I'm going to have my annual grade the hire 4 years later. So who's the better grade right now for you? Oates or Musselman?
Probably Muss.
I put Muss.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably go Muss.
Put Muss.
Two Elite Eights.
I would put Muss.
3 Sweet 16s, 2 Elite Eights. Oates got what, two SEC titles?
Yeah, but I also, and I have this in the capsule, and this is based off of conversations with people across the sport. Like there are coaches in this sport, not just coaches, but that they have lost respect for Nate Oates in the way that he handled or mishandled the entire situation with Jaden Bradley and Brandon Miller, and that should be dinged against, and that's part of the job.
Yeah, that's a different conversation.
If we keep it, another one, just Texas Tech hiring Beard.
Has to be.
I mean, that has to be on the list somewhere too.
How about this one? Steve Peichel at Rutgers.
I considered it. Yes, he's up
there.
A
hell of a hire at Rutgers.
Yes.
I mean,
he waited forever for a job too. He had so much success at Stony Brook.
Yeah.
On the island, I had to give him a shout out. There we go.
I mean, Jerome Tang could be that in a few years.
Yeah, I think he'll be on the list at some point.
Anybody else? Any late entries?
I think Sean Miller will end up on this list if we do this in like 5 years.
Yep.
At Xavier.
Good potential there.
Thank you for watching the Field of 68. If you've enjoyed what you've seen here, hit that like button, share this link with your friends, or check out the description for some other places that you can consume Field of 68 content.